Personality types. Not all of us are out of touch with our emotion, but when it comes to talking, all of us are affected by personality. I have observed two basic personality types. The first I call the Dead Sea, and the duration of Israel. I think the Dead Sea goes nowhere. It receives but does not give. This personality type receives many experiences, emotions, and thoughts throughout the day. They have a large sort of reservoir where they store that information and they are perfectly happy not to talk. If you say to the Dead Sea personality, "What's wrong? Why aren't you talking? Why aren't you talking?" to that, you'll probably answer, "Nothing's wrong. What makes you think something's wrong?" And that response is perfectly honest. He is content not to talk. He could drive from Chicago to Detroit and never say a word and be perfectly happy. On the other extreme is the babbling brook. For this personality, whatever enters into the eye gate or the ear gate comes out of the mouth gate, and there are seldom 60 seconds between the two. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, they tell. If no one else is at work at home, they will call the telephone. Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I heard? If they can't get someone on the telephone, they may talk to themselves because they have no reservoir. Many times the Dead Sea marriage is a berry brook. That happens only when they're dating, and it's a very attractive match. One way to learn new patterns is to establish daily sharing time with each of you will talk about three things that happened to you that day and how you feel about them. Letter Y, number 1. If you are at Dead Sea and you date a babbling brook, you will have a wonderful evening. You have to think, how would I get this conversation started now? How would I keep the conversation flowing if I didn't have to drink at all? All I have to do is nod your head and say, uh-huh. And she will fit the whole line and you will go home saying, what a wonderful person. On the other hand, if you're a babbling brook and you date a Dead Sea, letter Y, number 1. You will have an equally wonderful evening because Dead Seas are the world's best listeners. You will babble for 3 hours. He will listen intently to you and you will go home saying, what a wonderful person, you attract each other. But 5 years after marriage, the bride wakes up one morning and says, we've been married and I don't know him. We've been married for 5 years and I don't know him. The Dead Sea is saying, I don't know her too well. I wish she would stop the flow and give me a break. The good news is that Dead Sea is going to talk and Babbling Brook is going to listen. We are influenced by our personality but not controlled by it. One way to learn new patterns is to establish a daily sharing time in which each of you will talk about three things that happened to you that day and how you feel about them. I call them the minimum daily requirement for a healthy marriage. If you start with the daily minimum, in a few weeks or months, you will find quality conversation flowing more freely between you. Quality activities. In addition to the basic love language of quality time or giving your spouse your undivided attention, there's another dialect called quality activities. At a recent marriage seminar, I asked couples to complete the following sentence. I feel most loved by my husband or wife when blank. Here's the response to 29-year-old husband who's been married for 8 years. I feel most loved I feel most loved by my wife when we do things together because I like to do and things she likes to do. We talk more. It sort of feels like we're dating again. This is a typical response of individuals whose primary love language is quality time. The emphasis is on being together, doing things together, giving each other undivided attention. Quality activities may include anything in which both of you have an interest. The emphasis is not on what you're doing, but on why you're doing it. The purpose of experiencing something together, to walk away from a feeling he cares about me, he was willing to do something with me that I enjoy, and he did it with a positive attitude. That is love, and for some people it is what love's loudest voice. Tracy grew up with a symphony. Throughout her childhood, the Giants. Tracy grew up with a symphony. Throughout her childhood, the house was filled with classical music. At least once a year, she accompanied her parents to a symphony. Larry, on the hand, grew up on the country and western music. He never actually attended a concert, but the radio was always on tuned to country station. The symphony he called elevator music. Had he not married Tracy, he would still live his life without ever attending symphony. Before married, while he was still in the success. Before they were letter one, number 1. When they were married, while he was still in the such state of being in love, he went to the symphony. But even in his euphoric emotional state, his attitude, you call this tough music? After marriage, there was one experience he never expected to repeat. When, however, he discovered through later that quality time was Tracy's primary love language, and she especially liked the dialect of quality, enthusiastic spirit. and she especially liked the dialect of quality activities, and finding the spirit of the symphony is one of those activities. He chose to go with, excuse me, he chose to go with an enthusiastic spirit. His purpose was clear. It was not to attend the symphony, but to love Tracy and to speak her language loudly. In time, he did come to appreciate the symphony, even occasionally to enjoy a movement or two. He may never become a symphony lover, but he has become proficient at loving Tracy.